Okay. Hello? I don't know how we do this. Hi, buddy. My cat is also here. He's going to be jumping on and off this table. I think there's a way, if you guys also want to talk, I think there's a way to do that, but I don't quite know how it works. So I'm just exploring. Oh, hi. Diane Aspie. Hi. And Carolyn. Very cool. Ohio. That is so far away. We're in Utah. Shh, hey, little buddy. I know. I don't think this works like Zoom. Hi, buddy. Yeah. How are you guys doing tonight? I don't know if I can share screen or how does this work? I was hoping that people would bring like a book and like one of their own pots that they've made, and then we could do like a little show and tell, but I actually don't know how to do that here. Because it's not like people can request the webcam for themselves. So maybe this will be short and we'll have to try it some other time. And oh, cool. I love having we fire here at Hobble Creek. Hey, Fairmere, stop breaking the furniture. My cat will I do this in my living room. This is where my living room is at. And if I do not give him enough attention, or if I am in my living room and I'm giving somebody else attention, sweet Faramir tries to destroy my furniture. He knows he's not supposed to do that. But yeah, here at Hobble Creek Pottery, we run the kiln like twice a week, sometimes 3. Oh, hi, Sarah. Thank you. Here, I will pick him up. Come here. Here, buddy, come here. Yeah. We call him. Come here, little Faramir. Okay. We call him Faramir. Will you look and show them your pretty eyes? Yeah. His name is Faramir because when he got dropped off at my barn, we get a lot of barn cats that are just dropped off out there. And usually if they're dropped off and they can mouse, they get to live at the barn. But he did not show any inclination of wanting to mouse or be capable of being an outdoor cat. And sure enough, we took him inside and he goes outside for like 5 minutes and comes right back inside. He's not an outdoor kitty at all. So he was dropped off and abandoned by somebody, but he is totally useless, kind of like the Lord of the Rings character Faramir. So his name is Faramir because he's useless. He is good for cuddles, and that's about it, which is kind of what, Faramir is from Lord of the Rings is good for. So I'm trying to keep up here a chat so we can have a conversation. I don't think I can share screen with you guys, but I'm not sure how to do that. So if we want to do like show and tell, maybe I'll have you guys direct message me pictures of your pots, and then I can put them on screen and we can do that way. Because I kind of want to see what everybody's been making. I think it's kind of fun to do a little show and tell. All the way from Louisiana? Wow, Diane, that's forever away. I wish, like, those are like Pottery Central. What I'm understanding is that there's so much clay and pottery activity kind of like up through the south, like Florida to like Georgia up there, up to the Appalachians. And here in Utah, there's quite a few potters, but it's less subdued than when I was out in that area earlier this year. I was shocked at how much pottery there was everywhere. So, oh, you've got 4, Sarah. You have 4 black kitties. Oh my gosh, that's so many. I would die. Faramir would die. We got another cat because of him. He can't he doesn't have the ability to be alone. So we have a cat, and then the cat has a cat. So, and she's crazy. She was saved by my brother-in-law from the dumpster she was living in. She was living in a literal garbage can. And so we brought her home, and she tried to kill everybody and savaged a lot of people. Where are you going, buddy? You make me nervous when you go over there to go scratch the couch that you're not supposed to scratch. Anyway, so Callie is at the vet office. Her name is Danger Kitty because she is dangerous. She doesn't really like people that much. She'll cuddle sometimes, but she's super not a cuddler. So anyway, if you're just popping in, let me know where you're from, like state-wise or country, and give us a shout out. Tell us how your evening is going because it's Friday here, but there's quite a few channel watchers from like Australia and Paris, France, not just Paris. So I read a little bit of French, and I can sort of write French. I have to use a grammar checker, but I'm real bad at speaking it. So, but hey, ooh, you can't see it, but he's running like crazy because he's excited that I'm home. Anyway, we can do I don't know how show and tell will work here. So maybe what I'll do is I'll have people send me, I don't know if you follow Instagram, but my DMs are always open on Instagram, and that's kind of the easiest place probably to do Messenger, because I don't think Messenger works really well, like a Messenger app thing works well on YouTube. I'm still learning YouTube. I don't know a whole lot about it. So if you guys want to send me a message with your pictures of your pottery so I can put them up, and I'll do a share screen, and we can show everyone what everybody's been making for the season or just what you're proud of. Oh, hi from Vermont. Oh, that's so pretty. I had a friend who was from Vermont, and she would go back every fall and send me pictures of the trees. And I thought that Utah had good trees, but I was sorely mistaken. So I will put the link to my pottery Instagram here, and then I can take messages there. Oh my gosh, Sarah Elizabeth, I just got yours. Hold up. Okay, so okay, hold on. I have to download this and send it to my computer. So I'm downloading it from my phone and sending it to my computer because for some reason I can't get my Hey Faramir, what's up, buddy? Don't do that, please. Okay. He's going to start knocking stuff off the top. This is what happens every time I'm on a video call or anything. He jumps up there and starts knocking stuff off the top. So it's just going to be a thing we have to deal with. You guys have to see Sarah's pot. And then, Sarah, you need to post in the chat how you made this because oh, that's a lot of pictures to send. Hold on. Did it send all of my pictures? And we'll figure this out. Oh, we don't need to send 10,000 images to myself. Apparently I had a bunch of things up here. Okay, let me post the link. Sorry. I'm a little disorganized, but I'll get there. Here is my Instagram link if you have Instagram to send me. Sir, I have a little miniature of the shards of Narsil, and because the Lord of the Rings, he just knocked that off. There's the shield it sits on. Hey. And the pedestal that the shield sits on, that the shards of Narsil sit on. Is there anything else even up there? Oh, that's a dinosaur. Oh, good boy. And a good friend of mine, Faramir, wants to show and tell you guys. A good friend of mine is a 3D printer, and he printed me a dinosaur because I like dinos. So that was nice. Buddy, this is I went to Rome or to Europe earlier this year. This is from Greece. We went to Athens, and I got this at the museum, the Parthenon Museum. It's a reproduction of an Athenian owl. And I have to stop the cat. Hold on. Hey, you're being more destructive than usual. Get down. Get. I don't want you damaging this. Thank you. Get down. You have to get down. Okay, or come here with me. See? Ooh, a useless kitty. Oh, okay, so I will tell the story real quick of while I'm figuring out the technical side of getting Sarah's work up on screen. It is so funny, by the way. You guys are gonna love this. My grandma and I went on a cruise through the Mediterranean from like Italy, Kusadasi, up through a lot of Greece, and I did all this research because Roman history is my jam. I love all of that. It's crack for me. And we were coming back to Italy on our way to Spain to finish up the last leg of the journey. And my grandma got really, really sick, and we ended up in a Sicilian hospital for 8 days. And I learned a lot of medical Italian really, really fast. So it's a good thing that I have like language roots in German and Latin, but she is doing very, very good. So she has made a full recovery. It was the most stressful flight I've ever had in my life, but everybody survived, and that's all that matters. Okay, here we go. I figured it out. Okay, let me share my screen. So here, we'll cover my face so it's not super distracting so we can see Sarah. Your piece is so cool. Share the live stream. Share the screen. Apparently there's a bunch of stuff I have to do here. Okay. We'll do entire screen. I have to open system preferences and give it permission because Google Chrome doesn't like that. Okay, we're going to do something else because it's requiring that I quit and re-enter, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. So we'll just show you my phone. I don't like showing you guys a screen, but here we go. We're going to try our best. So this is Sarah's mug, first in our show and tell. And look at how cute this thing is. And she said earlier that she accidentally smacked it with a throwing bat. So I just rolled with it, which this is the coolest happy accident I think I've ever seen in my life. Also, I love these eyeballs on this thing. He just looks a little crazy, and I feel like very relatable piece, very relatable. This is so cool. Hey, Sarah, if you want to post your Instagram or something so we can all follow you and see like the cool work that you're doing, that would be awesome. Please do that in here. Okay, I'm going to my Instagram to see who's next. What else do we have? Elizabeth. Okay. Oh, these are so cute. Okay, I'm putting up this photo here. So, Sarah, put your stuff in the chat, so your links or wherever we can find you so we can go and follow your funny accident mug. Hey, bud, stop. That's paper. This cat, he is so destructive. Like if you're not paying exactly attention to him, I can't lock him in a room or anything cuz he'll destroy things. So, anyway, he is very sweet when he's getting enough attention. Okay. Hold on. Elizabeth, I have your pieces. There's 3 here and they're so cute. So I'll show you the unzoomed out version. And I love these detailings and the sort of organic, natural inspiration that you have here. I love how much like flowers and leaves. And I think you'll have to just tell us a little bit about your process on making these and like what your thought process is. Let me zoom in here because I think these are little shells or seed pods or something, right? On this little plate on the edge here. How are you getting that pattern? That's cool. It looks like something you would find in nature. And also I really like that glaze. Oh, I hope she's still here. Oh, hand build. Oh, cool. I've seen people do like make their own bisque stamps and things, and I just made a like making your own bisque tools, and I recently made some like molds to do foot rings for hand building mugs and things like that. And the mug is a Plum Island transfer. Oh, I've never heard of them. Are they like a transfer company? That's cool. That is really pretty. I think that's as much as it goes. But can you see that detail? Like there's this little flower thing that is way cute. And I love the glaze combo. What glazes did you use, if you don't mind saying, um, to get this effect on the handle, that kind of cool ombre with this sort of mulberry red color? Like, I'm really digging that color, like, and how it fades into the cream. So is it like a clear coat over the transfer here? Because I think, and if wait, and are their transfers that color, like Plum Island? I wanna go stalk them so badly, but I also wanna see your conversation here. I'm gonna stalk them just a little bit. Oh, I can't. It won't let me. Oh, no. I have so many questions, sorry. When I start learning something, I get a little intense about it. Yeah, just like Ceramica? Oh, okay. So they're just an underglaze transfer place. Okay, cool. Okay, hold on, we gotta look at this little dish. How did you make that? Oh, they're the same? So the mug and the plate glazes are the same. Are they the same? Were they fired to the same temperature, or are they on different clay bodies? That's really interesting that you got, because I can see, yeah, I can see the kind of the same coloring there as here, and the same coloring there as, like, here on the sides there. That is so cool. Sorry, I'm just starting to get into, like, glaze chemistry. They're a home oh, you're a homemade copper glaze. Oh, cool. Okay, so cool. Very cool. Different clay bodies, different glaze options. Okay, I'm just starting to get into glaze chemistry, and it's going to be a problem because I'm going to hyperfixate on it, and then it will become everybody in the studio's problem. Yeah. Yeah, when it's not pooling and it's just having a flat surface. See, and then like I don't know, this will not blow up more, but maybe I can get it really close. Can you see like the right up in here in the mug, there's like parts where it looks almost matte versus glossy. I kinda love it when a glaze sort of does that. Oh, yeah, when I start learning glaze chemistry, I'll probably do some videos about it because it is intense. I'm starting to branch out into, I don't know if you guys have ever seen gloop glazes. There's a thing called, or there's a new company, they were in Blick. Yeah, she was saying that it's a homemade copper-based glaze, right? They are a ceramic studio near us, and they make a homemade copper glaze, which is really cool. I'm gonna put a link in here to um, Ritual Glazes. They're kind of sold out on everything, but I get the Blick art catalog because I do more than just Faramir. You're gonna get in trouble. Be nice. I have some pottery kind of by my television, which is right over here, and he is near it and investigating it like he's not supposed to. It does look a lot like ancient copper. Here, let's look at that again because that's really cool. Um, it looks a lot like ancient copper, especially like how ancient copper, but isn't ancient copper discontinued? I thought it was a discontinued glaze because they couldn't get quite all the materials to mass produce it. I mean, we still have a bottle here, but we're all afraid to use it because, like, what if it goes out? Um, Also, this little trinket dish that, yeah, they did discontinue it. Oh, they reformulated it and brought it back. Oh, cool. Okay, I haven't noticed that because I sort of just wrote it off. I was like, oh, it's done. We're done with that. Let's go somewhere else, and we'll pick a different glaze. Um, I'm really loving this little ring dish or trinket dish. I think the screen is kind of inverted for me, so sorry if some of my things look a little bit, my movements are a little disjointed because I'm not, I'm very new to this. The new one is different than the old one. Does it not fire the same, or is it a completely different color? So it's basically if it's a different reformulation, the chemicals will fire differently. This is really pretty. I like this kind of turquoisey color, and I like the pattern that you're playing with and the sort of I'm gonna turn this way. The kind of wait. Which way am I trying to turn it? This way. The kind of butterfly look here. I'm really enjoying that. Did you do that with like just some carving tools, or did you have a stamp for that too? Oh, cool. I love that you do all these homemade stamps. I'm kind of nervous to do homemade stamps in Bisqueware. I do a lot of 3D design, and my dad has a 3D printer that he uses for the studio. He'll design stuff for my mom, but I design all the things that I want to do for myself. Um, let's see. Did anyone else want to share pots? So you guys here, I'll put my link down in there again. Here, send your pots. No, that's the wrong link. Hold on. Send your pot or your show and tell pieces if you want to share. No pressure if you don't. But if you would like to share them, we can talk about them and kind of ask about your process and things like that. Send a direct message to there, or if you want to share one and you're having trouble sharing to me there, let me know. Oh, I think maybe I've missed some. Instagram likes to hide things from me. It's awesome. I don't know why it is like this. Okay. Ooh, while we're here, I want to show you some of my sister's pottery. Oh, wait. Hold on. Before I forget, Sarah, I wanted to ask you what glaze this was because it looks like an underglaze or a matte glaze that kind of went a little glossy in some areas but didn't quite get there, or if this just might be underglaze that hasn't fully dried yet. Ah, that's what I thought. Okay, I was like, this would be an interesting, like if it were a final glaze, like if it's a, yeah, oh, pre-clear coating. Okay, because I was thinking that would be interesting if you had a satin patina glaze that was somehow food safe that kind of gave you this look. I think that would be really interesting. I have a satin patina that's not food safe. I think it has a lot of copper in it that kind of does this, but not in a great way. It's hit or miss. It's a dippable one of the big two glazes. I got it at ClayCon West when we went a couple of years ago. I thought it would be really cool because I can't remember the potter who did this, but she'd had a tentacle cup or tentacle mug, and it had like royal purple fading into the satin patina, and she was obviously dipped the purple in the top and the satin patina blue, teal blue green thing on the bottom. Oh my goodness, it was gorgeous, and the way that it ran over her texture, the texture of the tentacles, I just was like head over heels for this. Okay, let me show you. My sister has been working on a couple of things, and I'm kind of proud of her because she's got 3 little kiddos at home, and she has been making these pots. And she is like, I've been doing this every day for a long time, and or not, I don't know, 4 years, but she has been doing this really sporadically, and so I just kind of like to show off, like, look. I mean, her very basic, but like she's so clean and I'm so proud of her. She's doing such a good job. So that's my sister, Naptime Potter. So it's kind of like a family thing, and I just have to give her a shout out. Oh, this one she made a casserole in one of these. So if you find her on Instagram, I'll put her Instagram down below, and then you guys can see her because I think she's going to be one to follow. Oh, really? Farmhouse pottery in Vermont. Okay, I'm going to look them up. But I was going to get you guys her link because I think she might be one to watch. I'm a little biased because she's my sister, right? But Tess is really cool. She's my little sister, and she shows me up all the time. It's kind of great. So, isn't that like the best part about being a big sister? I think she's actually in the studio right now, glazing, doing glazing work. Okay, so I don't have any more show and tell pots yet. let me just double check here, go back and refresh the page because you never know. But I was going to show you guys a piece that I made. I don't think I dated this. Oh, I did 2022, and I'm super proud of it. And I'll never be able to. Um, I know the stuff that my mom pulls out of the kiln for Tess. I kind of get a little jealous because I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. But I tend to be a little bit more whimsical, and Tess is very she's very functional in her pieces, and I don't I miss that ability somehow. I don't have that, so my work tends to be very much more whimsical and eye catching, and it kind of eschew like shies away from functionality just a little bit, and I'm aware of that, and I don't have a way to fix that. I'm always gonna make weird stuff. So um here, this is what I made from 2022, and I'll never be able to make it this way. This way. It's a dragon vase. I made it with some Duncan stroke and coats. The Duncan, I don't remember what they're called, but Duncan is out now. And here, let's not shift it away. It's heavy. She's like 8 pounds because it was my first biggest piece. And I like dragons. I like fantasy. Check out all the stuff on my shelves. And then on the back, I was like, here's a portal to a fantasy world because that's how I was feeling in 2022. I wanted to escape a little bit, right? Anyway, so this is my little, well, not little, large dragon vase. This one sits by my bedside and it holds like feathers that Faramir destroys, and they're all destroyed right now. So I have to restock his feathers. Also, that thing is heavy. It's like 8 pounds. Oh, here, I'll have you look at it a little bit more. So I don't know. Is there anything you want me to zoom in on a little bit and hold it closer? Yeah, the mountains, these are a diamond core tool, just cut off. So how I did them is I traced them out like with a needle tool or like a thin like a toothpick, and then I painted underglaze white and then carved into it. But the body is Terra Red from Aardvark. Yeah, and yes, and then the blue of the sky is a mixture of underglazes and stroke and coats, so it's kind of matte in some areas and glossy in others. But yeah, I actually ended up so I painted everything, carved the dragon into it, and then carefully scraped back, sort of sgraffito style, um, the red dragon. So, and then House of the Dragon came out, and I was like, oh look, Caraxes is by my bedside all the time, and I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not super into Damon, but sure, it's fine. I like dragons. This is good enough. So I couldn't think of this is literally I couldn't think of what to do on the back. So I was like, "Oh, portal to a new world. Sounds good." Um oh yeah, hey, I didn't think about that. Maybe having an ancient pottery vibe. After seeing so many pieces, I mean cuz it's Greece, pottery was everywhere that we went. And I was of course in potter's heaven. And I've wanted to make some amphora and do some other pieces. Actually, I have a museum replica here. Hold on. My cord is plugged in right here. Right here. I have a museum replica I can show you guys that is really cool. This is a traditional Turkish style teacup, but because Turkey and Greece were basically the same place, especially during the Roman era when a lot of these, you know, ancient pots were being made, they were all basically the same styles across the board. Didn't matter the distance because pottery was being exported all over. And then, of course, once one potter figured out something, every potter close to a coastline figured it out really quick and was immediately reproducing styles. So you see this style teacup all over Turkey, all over Greece. This is a reproduction teacup that they found at the in Athens at the base of the Parthenon. If you look up the Parthenon, it's got a really crazy history, but so this is really cool. Inside, they had these would have been oxides, so it would have been a red clay um, with a white slip over top, and then likely oxides, if I remember correctly, that were painted on with fine fine brushes. So this is really cool. And then when we were there in Rome, I did get to uh, drink tea out of a bunch of these. It was so cool. It was, I was in nerd heaven there. Oh, here, there's a in the bottom of this little box it came in. No, they would absolutely not be food safe by today's standards. This is I mean, this is 2000 years ago. I wouldn't I mean, it would be food safe by their standards. It was a vitrified vessel, but I'm sure that heavy metals were probably leaching into that. I'm not sure that they even cared because the lifespan of humans at that point was, for a wealthy human was up to like 80 years old, but most people was 30, 40, 50s. That was your extended lifespan. I know too much about this, but these are really pretty. Here's the original piece, and it says on the back here, this little museum card, it says small ceramic vessels inspired by the vessels of the geometric period, 900 to 700 BC, found in settlements on the slopes of the Acropolis and are displayed in showcases in the gallery of the slopes. Design by Atticon Foss. So the potter who remade this, here is Atticon Foss. So I'll type that in there if you guys want to look them up. Um, reproductionist. Let's see. Reproduction of ancient pots. Yeah. So, oh, you were booked for. Hold on, I got to get caught up in the chat because I'm bad about it. I start talking about something I love. No, not considered food safe. I was booked for a goddess tour of Greece with Carol P. Christ. Oh, what? Oh, did you ever get the chance to like go, or was it just canceled and refunded, or it wasn't postponed or anything? The goddess tour of Greece. Oh my gosh, I would die for that. I mean, I obviously have like a lot of this side goddess iconography around me. In my office. This is not my office. My office is not good for filming, and uh, I have bookshelves everywhere. This is only one of them, and on the bookshelves in there, I have a reproduction of a many-breasted goddess statue there that I got from Turkey. It was a Turkish representation of Athena, whereas this one is the Grecian representation of Athena in her animal form. Um, oh man, that sucks. I am so sorry. Um, I think Carol P. Christ sounds like a very familiar name to me. I wish that you could have gone because soaking like I was on a cruise that the excursions weren't super informative. They were really for the basest. They weren't like for someone who was a history buff who was just like, I could get a master's degree in this. Tell me more, you know? And so it was just, it was just a nice little tour, most of the things that we did, but I did a lot of research ahead of time. So like by the time we got to Pompeii, I was like, and this is this house, and this is this house. And the tour guide was like, do you want to let me do my job? And I was like, sure, sorry, I'm just enthusiastic. So there was just so many good things to see and places and the history of not just like the pottery and the art, but the people and the things that happen there. Just mind-blowingly cool. The Romans absolutely were cursed to live in interesting times, unfortunately for them, the Romans and the Greco-Romans. Um, oh, I hope you get the chance to go because Greece was kind of like Greece and Turkey were kind of like going to the motherland of modern pottery, I suppose, because they had so much art and expression. Like it wasn't just a vessel that you were meant to pour wine out of; it was a vessel you were meant to pour wine out of and a conversation piece, which I think is what we do a lot with pottery these days. Is we create conversation pieces or things that people will cherish. They're not just it's never just a cup, it's never just uh, something with purpose. It has dual um woman spirit rising. Ooh, we do need to talk about books, but anyway, I just love that the tradition of doing that pottery was that during those time periods, especially in the western sphere of the world, that's still continuing, and that's kind of where our main inspirations are still coming from. It was just remarkable to kind of have that realization on the grounds where you were still walking, like in Pompeii, a lot of the paths that we were walking on were made of ground up pieces of pottery because the pot shards were so many. They just ground them up and used them as gravel because they didn't know what else to do with them, but they didn't want to like just cart it away. It was really interesting how like even just uh, pottery is just under your feet everywhere there. It was the path. I hope you get to go there. I hope everyone gets to go. Um, Oh, yeah, the potter's fingerprints? Yes, that was really cool to see. There were a bunch of, big pieces that had been, like, filled in, like, they'd only had, like, shards of parts of these big pieces, but you could see the potter's thumbs or their fingerprints on them, and it was obvious that more than one person had made these big pieces. That was cool, and I like seeing that today. I know, I sell at some vendor fairs, like, you pay a fee and you show up with your booth and your table, and I have people that will, like they do really weird things when they come up to my booth. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but, like, they'll, like, pick up my mug by the handle and they'll be like, you can't just hold it by it one finger and without it falling over." And I'm like, "Don't you hold mugs, like, with like, you hold them and then you hold them?" Like, I was really confused but I've had people come up and they're like, you don't have any fingerprints of your fingerprints on the pottery. I only buy pottery that has fingerprints on it." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I'm not gonna do that, but I guess you're not my customer." But it's interesting that need to see the potter's hands print, still it's everywhere. So I just I'm not gonna leave my thumbprints all over it because I feel like they'll get sharp, right? Yeah, but it would be a cool maker's mark, but I'm kind of like, I don't know, stylistically, it's not for me, I guess. Hmm. I have a couple of other pieces from one well, I've got one piece from Greece over there on the mantle that I can show you that you guys might like. It's kind of a modern style. It's a little dusty. This is a luminary that is from Crete. It's from Crete, but it's made to look like, oh crap, what is that island that has the blue roof of it's like got one blue roof and this is the one blue roof. And she barely the potter who made this, she barely spoke any English, but we were both kind of making fun of how everybody goes to this tiny little island to look at these little blue roofs. But um I think the really cool place to go if you're gonna go to Greece is, Heraklion on Crete, and the reason for that is because Heraklion is the location of the first palace ever built in Europe, and not just the first palace, but also the first roads, and it's interesting that they were the first roads, like, that you would recognize as someone dug out all the rocks and laid down new footing, um, in Europe on an island, no less. But at the time, it was run by the Minoans, and the Minoans were a matriarchal culture first, and they worshipped a very full-bodied goddess, and they made this amazingly huge palace. They were the first people to make roads, and it was all done by women, which is why I liked Crete the most because you can see it even to this day. There's something about that island that isn't just that you know I don't know. Like, Sarah, we might plan a cruise sometime. Anyway, this was made by Melody in um hold on, I need to look up the cities on Crete to tell you where her shop is because you could go there. Um Cretan Greece pottery. Um I'm looking up the map where we were at. I don't read Greece. Where are the translations? We weren't in Malia. We were in Minos? Malta. No, that doesn't make sense. Like there's let's see. I cannot find the place. Um Nosos, that's the palace. Okay, there we are. It would have been in this bay over here. Melody Pottery. Art on olive wood. No. The artist name is Melody. Maria Sanduka. I'll find it and I will post it in the community tab um, on YouTube because that will bother me for days if I don't locate her shop. But I don't want to waste your guys' time for joining me here with trying to look up some obscure little place. It is a cute little shop, her Melody shop, and she runs it with her sister. And I thought there was a bunch of other pottery places in this little town in Crete that were um, like kind of pushing the same thing made by potters who were kind of being clearly in their own home studios. They were working production at home and then shipping it out to these touristy place, whereas Melody was making the pots right there. Hey, buddy, don't scratch my chair, please. Thank you. And her kiln, like it was her cash register and then her kiln. It was that tight. And they were just working on this tiny, tiny little table. And so all of their pieces were handmade. Actually, I ate dinner out of one of her bowls this evening before we did this. So Melody and I'm close to her every day, I feel like. And that's one of the best parts about getting to know the potters that you buy pottery from. Or I don't want this. Faramir, you will knock this over, buddy. Won't you? Um oh, sorry. I didn't know you were sitting there. I thought you were still trying to knock stuff over, buddy. My poor little Faramir went outside once, the few times he did go outside, and he broke his tail and came back in and didn't pee for a week and scared the living daylights out of me because I called a vet and I was like, "Hey, something's wrong with my cat. I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before." And the veterinarian that I was on the phone with said, "Oh, your cat is probably dying." And so I as a depressed person in the middle of COVID who had recently lost her job and her baby horse, I lost it completely. And but he turned out to just need a little bit of kitty morphine for a week and a half, and then he was fine. It's like, "Oh, well," but his tail is still very tender to this day because I'm sure it didn't heal right because they don't make a cast for a kitty tail. So, hi, buddy. Um, did you guys have you read any of the Yeah, we're so lucky. They said that, if he had broken his tail, um, in a different place, it would have interfered with his back, and apparently in a cat tail, there's all these little nerves that attach to their urinary tract system, which is why he couldn't pee because he literally couldn't. I had to help him, express his bladder. "Hi, buddy. You wanna come up here again? Come here. Get some attention." Oh, yes. And he, yeah, they would have to amputate, but if his tail was broken in the wrong place, he would have had to be put down because at least this is what I was told by my vet, that he would have to be put down because oh, please don't jump on this little rickety table where I've got everybody set up, buddy. Um, because it would interfere with his ability to go to the bathroom for the rest of his life. So, and in those cases, they recommend euthanasia. I know, right? Isn't he pretty? It's because he never goes outside and he gets brushed and sometimes bathed. Huh. He is a good boy. And all he wants in the wintertime is to just be exactly this close to me. But you can go down there if you want and put his butt. Do you guys have cats? Do they put their butts in your face like it's their full-time job to do this? Go down there. You're shedding on my face. um, yes, you're so cute. Okay, so it's not just me then. Oh, that makes me feel a little better. You hear that? Okay, I'm gonna check for anyone else who wanted to show and tell real quick. Their showcase any of their pieces. I think this might be a fun thing to do monthly or bi-monthly to just check up and see. Oh, Sarah Elizabeth, you have the final. Okay, this is the mug that got distorted by a bat, Sarah Elizabeth's mug. And this is the final glaze. That is so cool. That looks so, so good. Thank you for sharing this with us. It's so pretty. I love how it turned out. That is so wacky. Oh, hello, phone. Isn't that just it does I just love pottery that has like a touch of humor to it, if I can laugh with a piece or if it can make me feel something, it's it's like 1,000% more valuable to me. Like, I just mm, it gives me such a warm little fuzzy, which kinda we need right now. Okay, 2 cats and 3 dogs. Oh, that is so many. Oh my goodness, how do you guys live your life? My mom had 3 dogs there for a little bit. She just had to put one down, a couple weeks ago because she had reached the end of her life and um she had kidney failure, and yeah, that was really sad to see Rinka go. Because hey, don't eat paper. Um, but yeah, that was sad. So I've said on the Pottery channel that I've got horses, and this is the sad part. We have 8 horses currently, and 5 of them 5? Yeah, 5 of them are over the age of 20 years old or older, which means in the next 10 years, I will have 5 horse deaths to deal with. I just will. And over the last 5 years, we've lost 3. So, yeah, animal grief is a real thing. And, though, my thoughts on our having, and also my neighbors, we kind of have like a road, and then there's barns on both sides of the dirt road, and we all just help each other. So we're like this little community. We all have our separate spaces, but we're this little community of horse people. And all of us got into horses at the exact same time. And so all of us have horses that are the same age. So all of us have horses that are in the senior horse bracket. And we're looking at, there's like 50 horses out there, and of the 50 horses that are out there, something like 21 of them are 20 or older. And so we have someone who has a construction company, and they have a designated graveyard crew for the horses. And so they actually have employees as part of their construction company, their upper level employees that are like part of what they do is they help us if there's a loss. And we had 2 this year, but the community really just comes together, and I'm really, really lucky that I get to make Raku pottery for as memorials for those horses. I don't have a Raku kiln. We don't have one at Howell Creek Pottery. We use a Raku kiln from our clay supplier. Um, oh, thanks, Carolyn. If you got a dip, head on out. We'll probably close up here in just a minute because we've been here for 47 minutes. Jeez. Oh my gosh, clutch my pearls a little bit. I didn't realize we could cover so many topics. We're definitely gonna have to do this like once a month. Um, but yeah, so I do horse memorials because that's a big part of pottery, right? Is that burning horsehair into stuff. So I do the memorials for every horse that we lose, and uh, I offered to do one for my mom's dog, but she said she was okay. So that's up to her. How people need to remember their loved ones when they say goodbye. So I guess if anyone needs someone who is actively doing horse memorials, you could send them my way. I don't really love doing it, but I will because I myself have experienced that loss. Like losing a dog is one thing, but like when you're a horse person and you lose a horse, it is so devastating, even when you're prepared for it. So and I actually thought that I was going to lose my mare. She's 27 this year because she was diagnosed last year with a disease called uveitis, which is a moon blindness. It basically it's an autoimmune disease where her eye is constantly attacking her eyes, and she has it in both eyes, and she went functionally blind in August. And I took her to an eye specialist, an ophthalmologist who does just animal eyes. She only does eyes, and she does them for across all species. And um, Dr. Amy, she took one look at my horse, gave her a bunch of medications, and sent me home with 5 different medications to do 3 times a day for like 4 weeks. And after that, like just going home from that vet visit, just that one vet visit, it was so expensive, but it was so worth it. Just that one vet visit, my horse could see, she was alert, she could, recognize her surroundings. And I think that was one of the best moments of this year was going into a vet visit for my horse thinking that we're going to have to surgically remove her eyes or it was the end of the line. And to come out of that doing a complete 180 where she can see, and I didn't have to think about making a memorial pot for her. And yeah, that was the best moment this year, was realizing how much hope there still is in what seems like a hopeless situation. And also at that vet visit, that veterinarian showed me a rattlesnake she did eye surgery on, and flamingos. Yeah, it was a big roller coaster. It was weird. So, um oh my gosh, Diane, you should absolutely do Raku with it. If you can find someone, because doing Raku is a whole production, but if you can find someone to do with it, I don't know. Do we want to talk about Raku for a minute? Because no one told me this, and I had to have someone. It's not on the internet. It's not clearly stated anywhere. But like how you do horsehair Raku is you heat it up. You can do it two different ways. So we'll do it the way that I normally do it. So you make your pot, and you can do it with like Raku specific clay, or you can basically do it with any mid-range high fire clay and just fully vitrify it and then do the Raku after. And so you want to make your piece, burnish it, make it nice and smooth, and do that. And then fully vitrify your piece if you're going to take it somewhere else, or take it to a bisque fire, and then if it's Raku clay, and then take it to your bisque fire, your 0405, and then do your Raku, and then you'll heat it up to about 900 degrees and pull it out. You pull it out real fast with some tongs, out of the kiln, and then put your horsehair immediately onto it because it cools down really, really fast. And then just set it aside until it's fully cool, and then you wash it off. And this is the part that no one told me. And then when the guy who was firing Joe at Patty Ceramics, when he was firing it for me, and he's like, "Oh yeah, and then you'll wax it," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Yeah, like with some turtle wax." And I'm like, "What?" So he likes to wax his Raku pottery with turtle wax. I'm like not into that. I'm like, oh, that feels cheap to me, even though pottery we do some cheap stuff. So I went and got some shoe wax, like shoe polish. And what you're supposed to do is after you've burnt the carbon, like the hair is just the remaining marks from the Raku is just the carbon mark, right? And to keep it in the Raku piece to make sure it doesn't get washed off or wear off with time is you wax the piece and then polish it to a high shine. So a lot of Raku is just waxed. And I did not know this. There's no instruction manual out there. And like, these are the steps 1 through 7 about how you do Raku. And I had to have Joe lay it out. I was like, wait a minute, sir. It's not just, you just fire a pot, burn the stuff in there, and then it's good after you wash off the gross remainder. Yeah, the wax acts like a sealant and a polish all in one. So Raku pottery will never, like, especially horsehair pottery, it will never be a food safe vessel. You're not going to put anything in it. So yeah, see, it's not common knowledge, and I'm just like, this should be common knowledge because everybody, like, we've all sold pottery, and you go to a fair, and someone picks up a pot that's just kind of like interestingly colored, right? And they go, "This is Raku," and I'm like. Okay. Yes, it's Raku because you think that, right? Let the customer think what they want to think. And like I don't want to ruin anyone's day, but also I'm like, I can only educate for so long before I get irritated with people because I'm a little, hi buddy. You want to say hello one more time? See, he cannot just leave me alone. So the other way to do Raku, there's one way to do horse Raku. There's another way to do it, like with the crackle and stuff like that. So this other way, you get your Raku readyware. You're gonna Raku it, and then you can glaze it with a Raku. Excuse me, buddy. What are you doing? You can glaze it with a Raku crackle glaze, or like any Raku glaze, really. But if you want to do the horseware, you'll want to do like a white crackle, and then you'll fire it with that glaze on it. And I've never done it this way, but my understanding is that you then take it out, and then you burn the horsehair into it as it has a glaze on it, this like Raku glaze, and then you don't have to wax it. But because I don't really understand that, and I've never done it that way, so you can't quote me on it and think that it's going to be the truth, because I don't know. But yes, that's kind of what it is, as far as I understand. If you want to give Joe at Patty's a call and have him walk you through it, I'm sure he will. Maybe don't do that. That guy gets inundated with calls when we say stuff like that. I don't know. There's only a few of you here, so yeah, like I don't I don't know about waxing your pieces, but there's also a product here. I'll link it here. Um, I'm gonna send you the Amazon link to it, but you can buy it anywhere. It's a thing called museum wax. It's museum crystal wax, which is the highest shine wax I was ever able to get. But you could literally do just like shoe polish. Um, the thing is this thing is a 65 milliliter little tiny bottle, and uh, it is very expensive for as as it is. And if you do like, let me show you this. Hold on. You know, a lot of the Raku memorials that I do are like this size. So if you do something this size, that little wax piece is or this little wax pot that didn't send to you guys. Oh, it's too long apparently. Okay, I'll send you the title. Well, is it too long or did it just hit twice? It is too long. The link is over 500 characters and it doesn't like that. You couldn't even tweet this link out. So here's what it is. And I'll take a picture of it with my phone so you can see what it looks like. And it's a tiny little jar. There we go. And because I still haven't figured out how to share my screen. So it's this little Renaissance wax. It smells real bad. You should probably use a respirator or at least have good ventilation while using it. It's definitely got VOCs in it, or which are volatile compounds that can probably hurt your lungs. It made me feel really high. You know, like when you're huffing gas at the gas station and you don't mean to. That's what it made me feel like. And then I realized after the fact that, oh yeah, maybe I should not have this or be working with this product without proper ventilation. They don't warn you that on the bottle either. Or if they did, I didn't read it. So that's on me. Yeah, who needs all their brain cells? Look, there are days when I don't use all of mine, and there are other days when I'm like, where are the rest? So, and there are probably days when I've been accidentally huffing fuel fumes, probably. Yeah, you guys know. But I will say that Renaissance crystal wax, I saw a huge difference between using like a bunch of different other waxes and that product. That product was amazing. But for $18, it'll barely cover a piece this size. And maybe I was using it wrong, but like there's no tutorial out there. Maybe I should figure out how to do one, but like a piece this size, which is, you know, this is a fairly large ginger jar. So the Raku wax or that crystal wax wouldn't even or would barely do that whole piece. So it might do that piece and maybe like a couple smaller pieces, but it didn't go as far as I wanted it to, for sure. So, also, I kind of wanted to spend some time talking about books. I didn't want to do more than an hour, but I'm willing to go like another 10 minutes talking about books because like they're my life. I love books. What are you guys all reading right now? And tell me if you're liking it or like if you have a book you want to recommend to someone. Yeah, you did. Hold on. I'll need to collect that. Your book was not by was it by Carol? Yes, it was. She co-wrote Woman's Spirit Rising. Here, I'm going to put that down in the chat. So it's at the end here. By Carol P. Christ. Stone Blind. What is okay, this is gonna be weird, but like I love it when someone can Stone Blind Medusa. Oh yeah. So Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. Oh, that would be so cool. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the story of Medusa is Medusa was uh, content warning for sexual assault. She was raped by a man, Patroclus, right? No, not Patroclus. That was the guy who was in love. Anyway, she was raped by a man, and she was blamed for it because it was in a temple, and she's the one who got blamed for being promiscuous in a temple as if it were her fault, and she was turned into the Gorgon Medusa. And I would love and then, I would love to hear that from her point perspective. I'm sure that that story is rooted in some sort of truth, but of course it was written by a man, so I don't know how much we can trust it. Yes, Poseidon's temple, yeah. Yeah, ultimate victim blaming. You guys get it. You're my people. A lot of people are like, I don't know, there's kind of a charged political atmosphere right now, especially around sexual assault, and it's a whole thing. So, but I wanna pick that up. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it. Um, I'm gonna recommend the book that I'm currently listening to. It's a series, and it's dorky, and silly, and kinda dumb. And sometimes I just need this in my life. And I'm gonna caveat this by saying this book is written by a man, and some parts of it are problematic and misogynistic, even if he doesn't understand it. It's because a lot of the, female villains or the villains are female. So it's like this male main character who is constantly having to deal with powerful women. And I kind of like that and kind of hate it because I'm like, the problems are usually men in power, not women in power. So like mulligan, but all right, fine. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. And the seventh book just came out, and I started reading it like 2 months ago, and I have not been able to put it down. And the audio is immaculate. So I'm gonna put the audiobook as a recommendation because I like to listen to audiobooks while I'm throwing pots and finishing pots. And this one was so funny. So it's about a man who um, is chasing his cat outside in the winter because his house cat, very expensive Persian belonging to his girlfriend, trophy winning Persian cat, escapes out the window in the middle of winter, and he's like, dang it, so he has to go outside in his boxers to go get this cat. And as he's fetching this cat, the apocalypse happens and aliens take over Earth, and all of the buildings just disappear in an instant, and he and this cat are shoved into a dungeon, like a computer game, like a video game style dungeon. And basically, the tagline is the apocalypse will be televised. And he and a bunch of other humans are forced to fight alien monsters in this dungeon. And he is doing it with his cat named Princess Donut that used to belong to his girlfriend. And it is so funny because he's stuck in his boxers. And the AI that runs the dungeon is um kind of has a fetish for his feet, so the AI doesn't allow him to wear shoes or pants because so he's just this middle-aged, overwrought man who's in love with his cat, who just like he's like not in love, but in love like, "This is my cat, and I would die for my cat." Um, but he's running around just in his boxers. It is so, so good. So the get the audio if you have an audio credit, you will not be disappointed. The guy who audio narrates it, he sounds like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove, and then there's another, female voice actor who plays the cat, Princess Donut, and she goes full bore for it. I cannot get enough of how well she performs. It's so good. Oh, House of Beating Wings. Is that that's a romantasy one I keep seeing around. Hold on, I gotta remember what Dungeon Crawler bleh, Dinneman by Matt Dinneman. There you go. Yes, yes, send us a pitch for House of Beating Wings. If I remember correctly, it has something to do with vampires, which, like, bring it. I need some more vampires in my life. I think I have it downloaded because I think, um, this is gonna sound really strange, but I have access to a lot of advanced reader copies because I'm very in touch with the publishing world. So yeah, has anyone read the Blood and Ash series? I didn't read it. Romantasy and I don't always get along because I read a lot of romance in my early 20s and I sort of have needed a break. So I haven't actually read a lot of the new romantasy, but my best friend has a romantasy coming out next year that you must pre-order it. I will pitch it to you. Um okay, so we have the House of Beating Wings by House of Beating Wings. Here, I'll look it up on Goodreads real quick and read it to you. Read the thing. Um, House of Beating Wings by Olivia Wildenstein. I wonder if it'll let me post the link. Oh, this is not the one about vampires. Super strong, intelligent, fierce women. Oh, yes, queen. Okay, adding it to my want to read list right here. Um, Okay, I will read you the thing. Free the crows, Fallon, and they will make you queen. Until an oracle predicted my regal future, I'd never imagined myself rising above the curve of my round ears. After all, I was the magicless halfling, loved by beasts but loathed by every pure-blooded fairy at court. Well, by all but one. Dante Reggio, Prince of Luce, had owned my heart since he gave me my first kiss. If gathering a slew of iron relics could help me overthrow the current monarch and crown his brother to rule at my side, then treasure hunting I'd go. If only the oracle had warned me what winged demon was I was releasing into the world, and that I'd become this demon's obsession. Ooh, that sounds good. Oh, if you like Mary Pearson was in my town 2 days ago, and I was supposed to go and hang out with her, and I did not because Tuesday was a hard day for me, so I stayed home. Sometimes you have to sometimes you have to do that. But Mary E. Pearson is so very cool. It would have been the third time I've met her. She's a fantastic human. Oh, I'm gonna pitch you my best friend's book because it comes out next November. Let's see. Hold on. Let me look it up here. I don't think they even have a link for it yet. So you'll probably just have to go on Goodreads and follow Trisha Levenseller. Her first adult romantasy is coming out next year, and they don't have. I feel privy to like all this private information from the publishing world, but she's told me that they don't have a set down like a finalized title, so I can't say anything about a title. But the adult book, um, it's going to be good. And it's about if you imagine a world where everything that men have ever done to women in a sort of imprisonment way to control women, but it was done to men instead. And this is a matriarchal community. I guess the heir, she needs to prove that she can control a man, so she goes off to the neighboring patriarchal kingdom to kidnap the prince who is supposed to be the calm, kind prince, and ends up kidnapping the heir to that kingdom's throne. And basically, he is her captive man, and it's very good. So please add Trisha to your I want to read list, and I'll post more information as soon as she makes that available, or her publisher makes that available, because dang, that book is going to be good. I can't wait for all of Romantasy talk and to find that novel. So um okay, so I recommended Matt Dinniman. Anybody else have a book that they're reading, or one that they just really, really want to talk about and see discussed? Did I miss a book that we need to also like read the Oh, I write epic fantasy. So the novel that I finished and is currently out with agents is 175,000 words long, and it is about a shade hunter who hunts shades, which are parasites that eat people's souls, and she is trying to stop her foster brother from being um, see you, Debbie, but she's trying to stop her foster brother from being possessed by a particularly nefarious shade, while also staving off her own soul death because she is also possessed by a shade and it is slowly killing her. So epic fantasy. I've got some of my favorite books. This bookshelf that you see in all my videos is actually my favorite bookshelf. These are all my favorite books. There's Trisha's books are over there because I have all the fancy copies because I have an inn and I get all the fancy copies and it's wonderful. Um, but oh, this side. These are I like epic fantasy and science fiction. Um, a lot of people really, really love romantasy, and like I said, I read a lot of romance early in my reading career. Like when you start getting into books, I started reading. Like I read Sarah J. Maas. Um, I think I have a first edition paperback for Throne of Glass. So I started reading Sarah J. Maas way, way early. Like book two got me out of a crazy, awesome, terrible, never want to go through it again depression. And I have tattoos. It's great, like bookish tattoos. But I've really found that I really, really love, and I'm kind of exploring like my asexual spectrum side of things. So I really like. This is awkward to see on the screen because you have to move separately. Like it's reversed. I don't like it, but these books are all um, what I'm like. They're the things that make me super, super happy. And some of these on this side, oh, I have Dungeon Crawler Carl. Oh, look, I actually have it. I forgot I bought the book. He's going to be in my town, so I will get a signed copy, and I'm super, super excited. Um, I loved Hail Mary. It was so good. A lot of people will say, "Oh my gosh, if you love this book, then you'll like this." And I'm like, I have read them all already because I usually get the advanced reader copies of books, and then I read probably 6 months to a year in advance of what's actually being released. So I get most of the advanced reader copies because once upon a time I worked at a bookstore, and that is one of the lifelong perks. But I also do like um, I like reading fan fiction, so I do a lot of bookbinding, like anarchist bookbinding. Oh my gosh, right? The audio was amazing for Hail Mary. That was so, so good. I read the physical and then I got the audio, and it was I can't wait for them to make the movie. Apparently they finished filming like last month. So it's coming like next year or maybe the year after. I don't know how long does it take to do special effects anymore. No. But yeah, excuse me. My throat is getting dry. But there will be a movie. I know a year is too long, but we're talking about books right now. My circles of communication. Usually, we talk about books that are like coming out a year from now or 2 years from now, and we're all reading them. So, but this one, I really, really like that. Didn't realize it was this big though. It's a big book. Apparently, book 7 was just published in paperback, and it's like 700 pages. And I'm like, someone gave me 700 pages of some man in his underwear running around with his pet cat. This is great. So, um, was there anything? Oh, if you guys want something super yes, if you look, you can let me tell you some tricks on how if you have an author that you really like, or if you do like online promotion, or if you're talking to people a lot about an author, you can reach out and ask if they have an ARC program, like an advanced reader copy program, or if their publisher does, and they might send you to a place called NetGalley, and you can apply for books there. Usually, you can only get one at a time on NetGalley. Sometimes they'll let you do more, but the program that I get some of the ARCs through is you can only get it if you've been a bookseller or if you're part of the industry. So I won't post that one because I don't know if you'll be able to get in. But NetGalley is where and a galley I think it's netgalley.com. It's been a while since I've been on there. They have an app, a reading app too, so it makes it really nice. And then if you have netgalley.com. So log in there. They kind of have a pre-approval process, but if you're really interested in reading ARCs and doing um, reviews, um, oh no, Sharon! Oh, that's wonderful that we worked at Walden Books, but also the new program didn't start until it's called Edelweiss Plus, and it didn't start until like 5, 6 years ago, and it's been really successful. And only some publishers are on there, and then there's other publishers like Orbit Books that I worked with when I was working with the publisher or the bookstore, and I got to being really good friends with one of the marketers, and then they put my name on their eARC list. And so now Orbit Books every now and then is just like, here's a bunch of books you can download. And I'm like, oh, thanks, Orbit Books. That's so nice. You publish all my favorite fantasies. The book, if you want something cozy to read, because I know like now is kind of a rough time. Like Dungeon Crawler Carl they're thick books. Like the audiobook, I'm reading book 6 right now, and I'm so excited. Book 7 just came out. Uh, but book 6 is I've got 17 hours left on it, and I've been reading it for, like, over a week. Title details. It says 26 hours. So if you don't wanna invest something like 4 weeks in the Dungeon Crawler Carl series, because it is very long and it is very nerdy, but it is very, very fun. I'm gonna recommend this super short book, Martha Wells' All Systems Red. Yeah, it's super longer than Stephen King, like, bro. But Dungeon Crawler Carl is so worth it. They go all out for the production, and I just it's it's earned a soft spot in my heart, even though there are some misogyny problems with, like, the main character. All of his problems are always dealing with powerful women, which is really cool because it means that all of the people in positions of power are women, but also I'm like, "Can't he just fight a man sometime and, like, make me feel like I'm exercising my feminine rage that I have all the time instead of, it's literally some guy and, like, all his Powerpuff Girls." Oh, yes, All Systems Red as in the color. This one is the Murderbot Diaries. It is about an android who has hacked his governing module. Sorry, they use they them pronouns, and I didn't realize that until, like, book 4. So I've mistaken my ways, and it's taken me forever to break the habit. Um, but it's about a an android i- who hacked their governing module. So they were supposed to be like hired security, but now they're like, yeah, I do my job. Like I have a job. I'm not, they're a slave. They're literally a slave. But when in all of their free time, they just watch like sappy soap operas and they're obsessed, like Star Trek level, like maybe not Star Trek level, even cozier slice of life stuff. And they wanna do is be left alone, and instead they catch feelings for the current crop of humans that they're supposed to protect, and the humans are like good humans, and they start checking on them, and they're like, "Will you just leave me to leak in peace?" After they've literally taken bullets for these humans. So, it's what is this? It's not a very long read. You could read this in an afternoon, but it leaves you feeling like, oh my gosh, not everything is horrible. Sometimes things are good. Like you can still be a slave and be free at some point. Like it's a really nice happy ending. And Martha Wells is a wonderful human as well. It's 149 pages long, so you could do that an afternoon. And I frequently will just put this on like 2 times speed in the audio, and because I always buy things in double. Anyway, it is just so very good. It has its place at the front of my shelf, and I'm gonna break it if I try and put it back without looking at it. So, um, oh yeah, let me put it in the chat. Martha Wells, All Systems Red, and you really have to read. And there's like a bunch in. Let's see, go this way. There's a bunch in that series. Like that, all of these books are the Murderbot Diaries. Um, oh my gosh, yes, please send this book to your depressed child. Because it's this depressed murder bot, and he's just like, all I want to do is watch TV and be friends with this spaceship. Please leave me alone. And you know what? It is just really, really um relatable. And if you're gonna get it for your kiddo, um, we need to get to, is it the artificial condition? Hold on. I gotta, because yes, you need to get books 1 and 2. And I think it's books 1 and 2. Let me double check here, looking in the front. Thank you, Tor, for always putting the series in here. Yes. This one is the second book in the series. And in this book, they make friends with a research transport, and they call them Art, and A stands for asshole. So this is the asshole research transport that is Murderbot's best friend. So it is uh so cute. Like like if you just want like a cute little bromance, it's just the perfect bromance. So I highly recommend it. Like it's up there in my top 5 books ever. By Martha Wells. I was going to type it in the chat so that people can see it. Um what else? Do we want to talk about anything else, or is this like a good night? Should we do this next month? Next month will be December. I don't know if people have a lot of familial obligations. I kind of do, kind of don't. I've got a nephew that's about to be born, so I'm sure that we'll have some sort of busyness. But maybe I'll do a poll in the community tab. Oh, Oh, a Sanderson reader? Okay, if you're I have so many book recommends for your Sanderson reader. Okay, I'm gonna be super honest, I could not get through The Way of Kings first book, mostly because I have really big issues with I mean, I know it's the beginning of the book and it's part of the character arc, but the beginning of the book was, um, a little bit too anti-feminist for me, and it was showing women in positions of power underneath men who had great control over the women, and I could not handle that, and I was like, "Nope, that's not for me." So, but for I have another book recommend for your son if they like, um, The Way of Kings, and this is an author who came out during COVID, and so they didn't get any promotion, and the books didn't do well, and basically, poor Nick, he's had a struggle of it, but these are some really great books. I was shocked at how good they were. Um, and it's The Kingdom of Liars by Nick Martell, and it this one, let's see, let me pitch it without spoiling anything because now I've read all 3 books, so I know too much. Um, okay, so it's about a shattered moon and a kingdom that has been shattered, and the main character's father is responsible for the murder of the king and his I believe his son, the king and his son. And the son that would have been the good son to inherit, not the evil son to inherit. And so, as the son of the assassinator, the main character has a hard time, and he also uses magic. The magic system is really interesting. You can do a lot of crazy magic, but in exchange, you're giving up your memories. So you can be like immortal for a little bit, but you might lose your entire childhood, or you might forget your wife's name, or something really crazy like that. So the main character has forgotten some very, very important things and is trying to, and he witnessed the murder. So he knows what happened, but he can't remember because there's magic getting in the way. So, and Nick Martell, a really, really kind human being. I think he signed this copy for me because I saw him. Brandon Sanderson is in my town, and he does every year a con called Dragonsteel Con, and I got to go one year, and hang out and met Nick. Yeah, he signed it for me. And I was like, "I'm buying your book right here because that sounds amazing." Because he sat down and talked to me about it for like 15 minutes. So yeah, yeah. So try that. That'll be my last. Go back. Go back. That'll be my last book recommendation, but I try and I like to help authors whose books are amazing and didn't get the chance that they needed, especially for COVID. COVID just ruined a lot of people's careers, a few potential careers in fantasy and science fiction because there was like 2 books that did really well, and one of them was Sanderson and the other one was The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and that was it. Nothing else even was remembered that got published within those 2 years. So it kind of sucks. So but anyway, let's do this again next month. I'll post a poll for when the best day is for everyone. I'll pick some dates. I guess you guys are already here, so you can and bring your pots next time so we can do and I'll figure out a better way to do like pottery show and tell than just showing you my Instagram. Let me check one last time in case someone sent one and I just didn't see it because I don't have notifications turned on. I did not. Great, we got everybody. And let's look at the calendar. Uh, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We got lots of stuff going on the first week of December. What does this look like? We got lots of week going on. I have Christmas markets the first and second week of December that I'll be selling at. So it's probably going to end up being the 20th of December, same time on a Friday. So, yeah, I really love seeing everyone's work. So I'd love to see more people's work, and I'll bring more show and tell of my own stuff because I like and my stuff just gets to be seen by me, that the stuff that I'm keeping. So, yeah, let's start our holiday off and just have a good time, and let's talk about Christmas books because or like holiday books, because there's not a whole lot that are kind of out there. I think so maybe think of a Christmas or a holiday themed book that you want to share with the group, and maybe on Monday, the day before Christmas, we can go and pick them up so we can read them in the Icelandic style of reading for Christmas Eve. So I think they have a name for it, but I will never be able to pronounce it. I can do Latinized um, Latin root languages. So, well, thank you everyone for joining me today. We went a little bit longer than I wanted, and I think we had a great time. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. This is a really fabulous Friday night for me. So, um, thank you, and I will see you probably December 20th. And have a good weekend, guys.